All right, guys, Leslie here with everythingjerseycity.com, and I am really excited because I am sitting down today with Mark Asch, and he is one of our educators here in Jersey City. Right now, we really kind of need that good news, right? We need that good news. We need those feel good stories, and that's what Everything Jersey City is all about. We're all about sharing the goodness of Jersey City, the people who are making a difference. And we found Mark, and we're really excited to sit down and talk with him today. So, Mark, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I've been teaching in Jersey City this is my ninth year that I've just started. Um, right before my first school in Jersey City, which was Dickinson High School, I was actually at OLC School, which Our Lady of Czestochowa, wonderful place. I was there for a little while, and then I was at Dickinson for 5 years, and now I'm at MS4, which is wonderful.
Awesome. And for anyone who didn't see us post your video last week, we want to kind of refresh them on what that was and why you really caught our eye. So tell us a little bit about this video that you produced with your children.
I'm the music teacher at MS4. And performing arts are alive and well at MS4, pandemic or none. And we have to perform. We have to keep performing. So for Black History Month, we do a big show at the school every year. And I always have the choir do some stuff. And in many schools, not just ours, we perform the song Lift Every Voice and Sing. It's sort of the Black national anthem. So this year, since we're in pandemic mode and everything is being done through a screen, we created a multi-pane video of the choir singing Lift Every Voice, and it's gotten some absolutely fabulous attention and response.
It is a joy to watch that video. I know that this year has not always been really easy, right? It's really difficult for teachers right now. Can you tell me a little bit about the struggles that not just you, but all teachers are having this year in trying to engage children through screens?
Yeah, one of the trickiest things is that for a teacher, eye to eye connection is essential. And
Right.
I see your face, but subtleties of our expression, kind of go by the wayside. And a lot of kids turn their screens off entirely. And they might do this because they're trying to watch television, but they might also do this because they're uncomfortable about themselves or their environment, and we just don't know.
Mhm.
And not having that face to face is definitely a big part of the struggle.
Right. So you found different ways to reach and engage your children by putting together these types of projects. So tell me about how how the kids reacted when you brought this to them.
Um, you always have some number of kids who want to be in choir or want to do some kind of musical performance, for which I'm eternally grateful. Um, but when they realized what the scope of this was and how we were going to do it, there was a lot of, I'm not sure if I'm comfortable, doing that. It's very awkward to sing a song by yourself alone in a room to headphones. And kids are so self-critical. But they really made it work once they understood the process, and they really warmed up to it.
Right. We should talk a little bit about your history and how this was a lot of work for you, work that you did on your off time, mixing and editing this video. Tell me about that process and how the kids were how were you able to get this all together?
I wasn't coming in completely out of the cold, for this. I've done a lot of work composing and in bands and doing various audiovisual kinds of things in the past. Although I hadn't done this exact kind of video before. All the kids need two devices. They need one to listen to keep them in sync and to keep them on, in key. Another device to make the video itself with. And then I had to combine all of those videos along with the soundtrack of their mixed audio. And it was a challenge, and it did take a lot of time, but I had some experience with the audio side, so I only had to learn the video part of it.
That actually like brings me to the next thing I wanted to ask you, which is kind of the reaction that the kids had when it was finished. Can you tell us about that?
Well, you never want to lose momentum. You have to keep the excitement there. And the kids are almost all the kids think they're terrible. This is just normal like self-consciousness. So you have to reassure them, and by putting just a few voices together in the beginning of the song and giving them a little sneak peek, you see their eyes get big and sort of the hand goes up like this, and they're immediately thrilled. And then you have them hooked enough to keep making the other parts of the song and getting all of these other videos in, learning their music, making their videos, because it is a process and it does take a while. But once they had that first taste, they were all in.
So I know that the video that we actually caught wind of, that we were the Lift Every Voice, is not the first video that you edited. You actually composed a piece of music, and that was the first video that came out. What month was that?
That was in December, a piece of mine called Winter Wind that I composed just for this group, knowing what their range was. And it's not very technically difficult, but I think it's very pretty. That the choir really likes it. And we were in a certain state, a certain mental state in December, where the virus numbers were, and screen fatigue, online learning fatigue, and just the plummeting temperatures and everything. And I wanted to try to capture all of that. So I wrote a piece for the kids, and that's how we sort of cut our teeth on one of these composite video sorts of projects. And since it went well, they were encouraged to try something else for Black History Month.
Absolutely. And so then we have the Lift Every Voice video. And then you just recently came out with a third video.
Yeah, I was actually working on Lift Every Voice and this other project at the same time, and I grew a beard and everything. It was it took all of my time, and the other project was an instrumental project. We did a Miles Davis tune, "So What," one of his more famous cuts. And although I'm not a band teacher, I have a lot of experience with instruments and composing, and I just put it out to the school. Who plays an instrument? Who wants to be in a band for Black History Month? And I got such a range of responses and instruments and experience levels.
Well, I know teachers are giving, a million percent this year. And this is just another example of a teacher going above and beyond to try and make something happen for their kids. So I know on behalf of Everything Jersey City and other parents and Jersey City residents, like, we just want to thank you so much for taking the time to do that and bringing such a wonderful piece of visual art to us and be able to see these kids sing this song.
It's a privilege. It's a privilege. It's an honor, to be able to present something like this. And you can see in their faces what a moment it is for them to be part of something like this. And it's really my privilege.
One of the things that we really like to touch on here when we do interviews is we like to hear about what people love about our city. So feel free to tell us what you love about Jersey City.
When I started teaching in Jersey City, it was just the end point on a map. This is where I have to go to work. And I didn't know anything about it. And eventually I had occasions to kind of wander around and see the neighborhoods and get to know so many people. And what I found is that Jersey City insists on having its own identity. Even next to one of the obvious centers of commerce and culture, Jersey City's got swagger, and it's not a false front. It earns its swagger, and I would have to say that applies very much to the students of Jersey City Public Schools, who have such talent and ideas and ambitions and achievement. I mean, flat out, hold Jersey City up to any place, absolutely any place. The swagger is earned, and I love that.
For Everything Jersey City, and especially our founders, it is very important for us to lift up the arts and make sure that they stay active and strong. So please, please, please always keep in touch and let us know what's happening.
I certainly will. I totally agree. Different professions and trends are going to come and go, but performing arts have been essential since the beginning of humanity, and that will never change. So I couldn't agree more.
Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me today, Mark, and we look forward to hearing from you again.
You will. Thanks so much.
All right, take care.